Hello and welcome back to Thinking About Star Realms. In this video, we're going to be playing Chapter 3, Mission 5 of the campaign. As always, if you have any strategy tips or think that I made the wrong decision at any point, please put it in the comments. So, if you notice, our opponent's starting deck has 2 extra Imperial Fighters, 2 Trade Bots, Federation Shuttle, the Battle Station, and it has 2 Scouts removed, so they have a much better deck than we do. But we start with the Energy Shield, which we saw in the last mission, prevents 1 damage per turn, plus it can be scrapped to draw a card, and I'm always going to forget about that draw, and I'm not going to do an important draw that might, help me win the game, so if you're ever screaming at the screen, why the hell aren't you scrapping your Energy Shield to draw a card? Please tell me, because, I want to know when I miss a play. We also have the Smuggling Run, which just lets us get a 4 or cheaper card for free. And this is a quantity that it's a card that decreases in worth as the game progresses, because getting a 4 cost on turn 1 is damn good. Getting a 4 cost in late game is not as good, because 1, the sooner you get that card, the more times you get to play it, which is good. And 2, just the value of 4 costs is ridiculous in the early game, while in the late game, they're probably going to be mech cards, and you can't combine it with more trade to get like a big card. So you probably want to use that early. Also, there's something very special about this mission. At the end of our turn, we're going to get whatever the cheapest card in the trade row is. Same for our opponent. So if we were to end our turn right now, we'd get the trade bot for free. If our opponent was going to end their turn, they'd maybe get the cutter for free, and so on and so forth. So that means being able to control the trade row is very valuable, because you can get rid of like cards you don't want to get stuck with, and you can get rid of cards you don't want your opponent to get for free. Having some getting some scrap out of your deck is decent, just because you can get rid of cards. There's probably going to be stuff you don't want to have in your deck, so you can never get over scrapped, I think, in this mission. While trade is not as good, because trade is good if you focus on it. On the other hand, if you have say if you're buying a bunch of trade, but also have a bunch of other cards in your deck, which is likely to happen because you're getting random cards each turn, you could very well end, your trade might get diluted across a couple hands, which makes trade not as good, because you always want to have it. You want to have a bunch of trade in one hand, while if you go for damage, it's pretty good, because, damage is just about the sum of the damage in your deck. If you get all your damage in one hand, or all your damage across a bunch of hands, it's still the same number of damage. Obviously, with a thinner deck, you'll go through your deck faster and get that damage out faster, but it's not as dependent on having a concentration of it as it is with trade. So, as I said, damage is good, trade row control is good, so we'll use a Smuggling Run to grab the Battle Screecher. Space Station is also decent, just because, a 4 outpost is decent, 2 damage is not nothing, and you can scrap it for a big card, because the trade row is going to be moving throughout the game, but you're never going to get into with this mission, you're not going to ever get into a situation where you're totally out of the trade row because everything is expensive, because then you just get the cheapest card no matter what. Now, if we end our turn right now, we get the trade bot for free. Alternatively, we can buy the trade bot and hope we get the cutter for free, or we get the cutter and we're guaranteed the trade bot for free. Just because I do want the trade bot and cutter and not a random 1 cost, that may be good, maybe not good. I'll go in that order, because even if we turn over a 1 cost here, we'll get the trade bot, because the mission always favors whatever the cheapest card that's furthest to the left. That's a tiebreaker. So yeah, I don't want whatever the random one cost is, because maybe we get another trade bot, maybe we get like I don't know, a ram that won't be able to ever properly ally. So get the cutter, play the Viper for nothing, and get the trade bot for free. Ooh, Arc came out. They buy the Star Mark and get a free Fed shuttle. This is a obvious discard of the Viper, just because the damage is not going to get through the outpost anyways. So I do want the missile bot, but we're going to get that for free most likely. So instead, I'm going to buy the space station, because as I said, it's an outpost, it's a bit of damage, and we can scrap that to buy the Arc. So we're probably going to get the missile bot for free anyways. And yeah, we get the missile bot for free, and we get the space station. So we gotta have our cake and eat it too. Don't want that discard, because then we'll be able to buy the Royal Readout. Oh well. Okay, do we buy the Imperial Frigate or the Space Station? The Imperial Frigate is the more aggressive buy, while the Space Station gets us the trade we need to have a better chance at the Arc. The Battle Station's gonna get exploded by the Battle Screecher here on this shuffle, and who knows on future shuffles. Yeah, no, if we buy the Space Station, we have a good chance of getting the Imperial Frigate as our free card. And you do want to get it. It's good to know what you're getting as your free card, because there are some shitty cards in the deck. Yep, we get the Imperial Frigate as our free card. But unfortunately, Fortunately, the trade row is quite expensive, so maybe our opponent will be able to get a really good card for free. Yeah, whatever. Get the Port of Call for free and get a, yeah. No, I wish I'd be able to, now I wish I'd drawn the Battle Screecher to get rid of the Fed shuttle, because I definitely don't want that. Huh. But maybe I do buy the Fed shuttle, because we're getting stuck with it no matter what, but maybe we'll get a decent card out of it as our free card. Or, better yet, maybe we'll turn over an expensive card and we'll get a Royal Readout for free. So yeah, I'll take the Fed shuttle. Might as well. Ooh, baby, baby. We get a free Royal Readout. Hell to the yeah. Not quite enough for the Arc for free. That is unfortunate. Okay, so, well, I do want the free flagship, and then I'm just gonna do a bunch of, gonna scrap the Arc out of the trade row with the Battle Screecher. Okay, so buy the flagship because it's a good card. Because our opponent just seems to have a decent way to get a bunch of trade, we should get rid of the Arc. Get rid of the survey ship, because I want to get the battle station and I don't want our opponent to get the battle station. Because, you know, with the star market, battle station's good. And I don't mind having defense in our deck. Yeah, I'll get an Imperial Fighter instead, which not ideal, but scrap a scout. Get rid of the battle station, but we don't have enough damage to get rid of the star market. Do we burn the energy shield down? No, because I don't feel like we'll reliably enough deal the 2 extra damage. Let's see. Trade bot gives us 2 more damage. Imperial Frigate, Space Station, and Royal Readout. So we have like 5 out of 14. Yeah, it's not a sure enough play. Ugh, that's a bit ugly. Yeah, we don't want to discard the Viper just because with 2 scouts we can only buy the Explorer, which we don't want, and at the end of our turn we'll get the Space Base Omega for free, which Space Base Omega is never a bad card because, you know, you always draw a replacement for it. Plus, it means that if it doesn't get destroyed and we draw a base, we get a free draw out of it. Also, I don't want our opponent to have it with all their bases, so yeah. Win-win for us. Our Star Empire Synergy does yield good discard. Plus we get to destroy the Star Market right after a shuffle, so that's going to be out for all of this shuffle and probably part of the next one, which you don't want the Star Market hanging around. Again, discard the Scout. Scrap the Scout. So I feel like here we should just scrap the Freighter. So that way we have a good chance of getting the Mech World for free. Which is not bad. We could scrap Freighter and Mech World and hope we get to the Battlecruiser for free, but that's not very likely because we've seen a lot of the expensive cards, so it's likely going to be a cheap card that replaces it. So I want to minimize our chance of that happening. Huh, Missile Bot. I feel like the ballsy aggressive play here is you scrap the Space Station, get the Battlecruiser, and get the Missile Bot for free, which that's a sexy option. Wish we could have both the Missile Bot and Corvette, but we're getting the Corvette for free, which the Corvette is never a bad card because you draw something off it, so you never dislike drawing it. I would like the Missile Bot more. But hey, we can get it for free. Again, thinning our deck. Okay, I do want to have the Blob Wheel. So, definitely our first priority buy is going to be the Missile Bot. But it's currently the cheapest card in the trade row, so if we end our turn, we get that for sure. I'm tempted to buy the Blob Wheel because it does synergize with the Battle Screecher, plus it can scrap for trade to get us the Machine Base or Central Office or something. But there's an obvious risk there that we turn over like a 1 or 2 cost that we don't want and miss out on the Missile Bot, but I feel like doing the ballsy play is the good thing here. That's good. We did turn over a Recycling Station, which is probably good for our opponent. But again, shit moves on. Okay, so what is going to happen here? We have up to 6 trade, which There's nothing really we want for 6. How much damage will we have here? Okay, so we'll be dealing 3 with just the Blob Wheel and Imperial. Yeah, we don't need the Viper, because we're not going to be able to punch through the either outpost with the damage we have. So obviously you discard the Viper. Now, do you buy the cutter and hope to get a free recycling station, or do you take the cutter for free? I'll buy the cutter and take it and hope to get a free recycling station, because why the fluff not? Yeah. Yeah, we get a free Merc Cruiser, which honestly is a great card. It gives us damage, which I've said we like. Plus, we can faction it to plus it can activate, ally abilities of any faction, which we have all the factions in our deck just due to the mission, so that's good. Yeah. And I like the fact that both of us are still at high authority, because I feel like we have a lot of scrap thinning our deck. We have some really good cards in the Battle Cruiser, and where the hell did it go? Oh, a Battle Cruiser and the Flagship. So I think we have a good position to go long with this game. Yeah, I think the trade bot here is the obvious discard. Discarding the Starbase Omega or Flagship is worth it if we want to scrap a lot of stuff from the discard, but I mean, we only have 2 starters, so with the 3rd discard, we'd be scrapping the Fed Shuttle, which is getting into like questionable scrap territory, plus both flagship. I mean, I would want to keep the Flagship because 5 damage in a draw is good. Starbase Omega, that's another draw, plus lets us kind of stay, means our opponent has to discard it, or our bases start having draw on them, which is good. I mean, then again, the argument to keeping the trade bot is that whatever you draw might be a shitty starter, and then you'd have something to scrap with the trade bot, but not as compelling. Especially because we're scrapping from our hand. And we'd have drawn like a cutter, which you don't want to scrap, especially in this hand. Our deck is coming up good. This is a little annoying because I would love a free Stealth Needle. Instead, we're getting a free Supply Bot. Heck, Stealth Needle's good. Yeah, everything but the Supply Bot is a card that I would love to have. Okay. Let's see if we get another draw. Huh. If we scrap the Imperial Frigate, we're probably going to draw something that lets us get another Imperial Frigate. Nah, I don't want to go for big brain plays. I'm tired. It's late in the evening. I'm not going to go for the big brain play. Do we want to destroy the Blob World? Yeah, we do. Just because it's 5 damage a turn anyways, plus potentially draws and whatnot. But yeah, that was a really good turn. Get Supply Bot for free. Get the free Stealth Needle and a free Survey Ship, not a free Imperial Frigate. Okay, I don't dislike the Blob Fighter here because we just do have a bunch of blobs in our deck. Alternatively, if we play the blob screecher, we could get enough of the recycling station. Or we scrap the blob wheel and get the battle blob. Okay, super big brain play here. Okay. Ridiculously stupid play here. We play the battle screecher, get rid of the Imperial frigate, get 2 trade off of that, because it will ally with the blob wheel, scrap the blob wheel, buy the battle blob, we could also buy the machine base, but I think at this point damage is more important than scrap. We have a decently scrapped deck, so buy the battle blob and see what we have in these 2 slots. If it's something shitty, we just pass our turn and get the blob fighter for free. If it's something good, we buy the blob fighter and get whatever we have. Yeah, I like that. Galaxy Brain play. And we're denying our opponent's Imperial frigate. Blob destroyer. QC. Yeah, we don't want to buy the blob fighter because I don't want to get the trade pod. If this was something expensive or something else, maybe I would want to buy the blob fighter to get the recycling station or blob destroyer, but too bad we don't have the damage to get to also destroy the star market, but you know, it happens. Get the brain world. But they get the trade pot stuck in their hand. Out of this, yeah, you discard the blob fighter because everything else provides a bunch of damage. Plus, like, Battlecruiser is a draw. Royal Readout is a draw because of the Starbase Omega. Flagship is a draw, and 3 in a draw, or 5 plus activate an ally ability, which is at worst, 5 authority. You always discard the blob fighter here. Flagship, Royal Readout. Yeah, we didn't need the ally ability anyways. Okay, so yeah, do we want red? Do we want green? Let's just go with red for no reason. At the end of our turn, we get the MC Yacht for free, which it's not the worst thing because we do have a lot of bases. If we buy the MC Yacht, we have a chance of getting the recycling station or blob destroyer, but we could also end up with, a crap card here. And the recycling station is of decreasing value because our deck is getting, thinned pretty well. Yeah, we'll take the known quantity. And I'm not even talking about scrapping the battlecruiser yet because we're still at fairly high authority on both sides, though. We're starting to get some, big swinging turns. Yeah, getting an Imperial frigate would not be bad. Buying Explorer, though, is bad. We can scrap one of the last remaining scouts. Yeah, I want to scrap out the trade bot for sure, and then we'll see what we want to buy or not buy. Alternatively, we buy now then have Battle Screecher to scrap out 2 cards. I mean, as far as buys go, Trados card's good, Blob Destroyer's good. I like the Blob Destroyer because I feel like being able to destroy bases is important for us, though we do have a lot of blue cards for Trados card also, but yeah. We really need to have ways to destroy bases. So we definitely want to destroy the trade bot. I don't want to destroy the barter world because we're risking turning over another card and not getting the recycling station. So, you know, each card we turn over is a card that can be cheap and crappy and not getting us recycling station. So, I like that. Yep, we end our turn now and we get a free recycling station, which is not bad. Not bad at all. They get a free MC yacht. I'm not super thrilled about that. Scrap. I think that's the last scout we have in our deck. Yep, we still have 1 Viper though. Oh, we had to have another scout in our hand. Yeah, so not gonna buy anything, so we get a free Merc Cruiser, and we buy the Merc Cruiser, we maybe get the Fortress of Oblivion, which, I mean, Fortress of Oblivion is decent because it is scrap, but we're pretty well scrapped, so I don't really care about that. Yeah. So we can use the supply bot. Supply bot to scrap the scout still left in our hand. Use the trade bot to scrap the crappiest card remaining in our discard pile, which is going to be the Fed Shuttle for sure. If we scrap the Imperial Frigate, maybe we draw the Viper Battle Blob, but yeah, not worth it. And we are burning through our opponent's health at a decent, through our opponent's bases pretty well, so I think we are in a good position. They're not damaging us, and they're not destroying our Starbase Omega, so I like that. Plus, we're constantly getting a bit of discard going, which is also nice. Yeah, there all the bases come out. Okay. Reroute has to come out. Battle Blob has to come out. Okay, we have enough damage to destroy all the bases. So I think we can safely scrap the Viper. I would have loved to get rid of the Fortress of Oblivion in the trade row, so we get a free ram, but that's not happening. Maybe we can scrap the Energy Shield to get a draw, which maybe gets us 1 more trade, or something scrapped from the trade row. But again, way too big brain for me right now. Way too galaxy brain for me right now. Yeah, keep the Energy Shield. It's preventing a damage return, which is helping us, I believe. And I don't want to scrap the Starbase Omega because that's never a bad card. Gives us a free card draw. Maybe give us more card draw and or soaks up some damage. So always a good card. Okay, so we have a fairly straightforward hand to play. Don't have any bases for Embassy Yacht. Boo. So, I mean, the Embassy Yacht's not a card we want to necessarily keep around a bunch anyways. And with a trade bot, we definitely want to scrap the supply bot. We're getting pretty well scrapped, and 2 trade and 2 damage is not that good. Okay, so what we can buy here. Battle Mech is not bad of a buy. Battle Barge is good if we have enough bunch of bases. Ram we might get for free. So I don't want to buy the Ram for sure, because we have a pretty good chance of getting that. Between these two, if we can ally it, the draw on the Battle Mech is good, but the Battle Barge just gives us a lot of possibilities with bases. Which one, our opponent has a lot of bases, so that's good for them. Also good for us, so yeah. And plus it's a discard, which we've had some luck forcing our opponent to discard a bunch. I like that. And that was the risk of buying, that we turn over some cheap crappy card instead of the Ram. We just got rid of a supply bot. Oh well, I mean, we're backing our opponent into a corner pretty well. So, not really complaining. Yeah, I'm complaining the fact they have a brain world. But, yes, it is what it is, what it is, what it is. Now the discard is starting to get crunchy here. If we can't ally it, the cutter is, I think, the weak card here. We need damage. You know, we definitely want to have enough damage to burst through our opponent's bases. Plus, we need to have, the faster this game ends, the better it is for us, because our deck is pretty much not going to get any better the longer this game goes. Yeah, Blob Fighter's going to draw off of the Battle Screecher, yeah. The only way we're allying the cutter is if we draw the flagship or use the Merc Cruiser for it. Otherwise, that Merc Cruiser out. Well, we can activate the cutter pretty well, actually. Fuck. Ugh, decisions. But I still think the cutter's the weak card here. Damage is the name of the game. Yeah, damage is the name of the game. Now, with the Battle Screecher, we want to scrap the trade pod, because we want to have as much chances of getting the Ram for free as we can. And getting a free Ram is the best card in this trade, I think. To get rid of Star Market. Maybe we should have got rid of the Star Market. In retrospect, probably should have found our opponent to be able to get it. But I feel like we want a recycling station both these cards, because we're probably gonna get, well, Missile Bot's the bad card, but getting the Battle Cruiser and the flagship, we want to maximize the chance of getting those. Get the flagship. Got the Battle Cruiser. Got the Merc Cruiser. Missile Bot to scrap the trade bot, since it's the shittiest card we have in the discard. Though the Imperial Fighter is also not that good. The only ally, okay, so what allies do we not have activated? 2 damage off of the Missile Bot, 5 authority off of the flagship. We don't need damage. And I do think, yeah, I think the 5 authority is better than 2 damage, though you could argue. But let's see here. If we pop this to destroy the base. They have 42 total thing. We have 20 plus a draw. Yeah, no, we're not getting fatal. Yeah, so flagship, the ally we're activating. Just destroying these with straight damage. And yeah, yep, don't want to buy. Get the guaranteed ram. Hey, they don't get the star market. Awesome. Out of these, I mean, keeping the Fortress of Oblivion is essentially the same as the 4 authority gain off the cutter, but the cutter can ally for 4 damage, while the Fortress of Oblivion lets us maybe scrap something from our hand realistically, which not as worth it, I don't think. I mean, though, maybe I should have, knowing what I knew, keeping Fortress Oblivion maybe was the right decision if I thought we could draw another base to target with a battle barge, but that didn't happen. I'm gonna hold off on the battle barge for a second here. Let me think about this. So, in terms of shit we have to destroy, our opponent's essentially down to 32 here. If we scrap the battle cruiser, we can get rid of the battle station for free. And we'll need to draw 11 more damage. 5 here, so that's 6 more damage. That's not unrealistic, so I think we should maybe try to go for the kill here. The first thing we want to scrap is the energy shield. If we're going for the quick end, this damage reduction is not going to be worth it. Okay, so I think that's fatal, by the way. So Merc Cruiser gives us 4 off the cutter, 20, 5, 10, 30 damage. Yeah. We can then destroy the battle station. Use the Merc Cruiser to activate the cutter's damage. Battle barge. Yeah. And we did not achieve any of the achievements. So what? I'm still a rock star. Yeah, so what worked for us in this game? Trade row control, deck thinning. Deck thinning, I think, was the MVP here. I mean, if you noticed, we got our deck very thin very fast, and we were able to, get those ginormous haymaker, 20, 30 damage turns often and early. So that was good. Having a little bit of trade to get those big ships when they did come up was good, but I feel like we got enough trade just passively off of cards that buying trade was not that big of a deal. So I don't think you should go for trade in this case. I think having trade on cards you can scrap to get trade is how you want to get your trade, because you don't want to draw trade on non-trade hands. Yeah. And by the way, this is my 3rd attempt on this mission, I think, or 4th. I think this is my 3rd attempt. So it's a hard mission. It's definitely a hard mission because your opponent has a much better deck to start off with. Plus, there's a lot of chaos about what goes into your deck. So yeah. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. There was a lot of toss-up plays in this game. Should I be buying? Should I not be buying? Especially when whatever card you turn over, if it's cheap, it can go into your discard pile, or if it's an expensive trade row, maybe you get an expensive card. There's a lot of decisions that I'm not sure I made the right ones. So please, 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 I beg you, throw some comments about, where you would have made a different decision from me. I would love to have a discussion about that. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.